Hello, welcome to another video. My name is Benga and on this channel we talk about my plants, and today I am finally talking about my plants live and direct, which I haven't done in a while. I don't know which order these videos are going to go out in, so I have filmed another video, but if I haven't edited that before this one, then Happy New Year. Some of the previous videos I've put out have been a little bit of a different style, where I have been reusing other footage and doing a voiceover. There are plants to look at, but the plants aren't really the main focus, it's more the conversation. But today we're back, and we're back to the roots and talking about the plants that made you probably subscribe to this channel, and that made me start it in the first place. If you don't know, I live in the UK, and it is very, very much winter, a harsh winter at that. And my plants are not doing well, unfortunately, but in the interest of transparency, and also because I won't go into my whole spiel right now, but chasing perfection is often a futile task. So to I guess include all aspects of the journey, I want to talk about the plants that are dying right now, what I'm going to try and do to repair the situation, and others that I may just have to give up on. Don't worry, nothing dramatic is happening, but let's just get started. So you can probably see the first one behind me is, let me bring it out, my Phalaenopsis moth orchid. Now, I've had this for about, I think, as I'm sat here, I literally just, this leaf just started hanging off. Weirdly, it's not fallen all the way off, but it's hanging on by a thread. Yeah, it's, I don't know if you can see the exact thread by which it's hanging on, but it's not looking good. Like I was saying, I've had this plant for about, I think, a few months, and it was given to me as a gift. And all I knew about orchids before I had this one was that pretty much they require very chunky, loose substrate because they are epiphytic, meaning they grow on trees in nature. And a lot of people actually mount them just on like cork or wood and stuff. They don't actually put them in a pot. But this is from, I guess, a supermarket or other local, like, commercial situation. And so therefore they're sold in pots, partly because of the decorative nature. I like the pot. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that what I know about them is that they have their blooms and the blooms die, and that's just part of the nature of orchids. Most people, I guess, who are not super into plants, who get them as a gift, once the blooms die, they throw the orchid away. But I remember watching a video where someone said that you shouldn't do that because they can rebloom. So that is the main reason I still have this. I'm surprised that this is still hanging on for dear life, because all the other blooms died in quick succession over the period of about 2 or 3 weeks. They just all started to decline. I think I have some footage of that somewhere, so if I do, I'll put it up here. This one has hung on by itself for about a month and a half, maybe coming up to 2 months, and I don't know why. I'm not going to pull it off because why, but I do kind of want it to just fall off for the completeness. I'm kind of liking the look of the bare stem. If I bring it closer, ignoring the kind of black supports, the green stems are quite an interesting shape, and you can only, I feel like I can only appreciate them fully. I need to get out of the frame so it'll focus. Okay, hopefully you can see that better now. You can only really appreciate the stems, I feel, when there are no blooms on them. You can appreciate the sort of zigzag, where's a better example? Yeah, this sort of zigzag shape that goes all the way up, which I find quite pleasing to the eye. In other news, it is growing a new leaf, which is this one. It is sun stressed, and I'm not sure what's going on in the center, why it's so dark. But again, when I saw the leaf growing, I was like, oh, okay, I'm doing something right. Mind you, I've had this plant for however long, and I still haven't looked up how to look after it. It caught me at a bad time. You know them ones where you know you need to do this thing, but you haven't done it yet. That was me looking up how to look after this plant, and because it was surviving, I was like, well, I guess I don't need to look it up. My instincts are serving me well. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing, which is vibes and watering it. I think I was watering it roughly once a week, once to 2 weeks. I don't know, I haven't fed it. I've changed its location once because the leaves were burning, and that's really it. And it's still alive, although that leaf that just almost fell off maybe would beg to differ. But other than that, there's not much to report. I just wanted to show it. I don't think I've actually shown it on the channel. So, I have once, but here's an update if it looks very different from the last time. Okay, number 2, my strawberries. I know I've shown these on the channel before, and they probably look exactly the same, and that's because from a distance you probably can't make out the individual stems or stalks or whatever. It looks the same because in the last time I showed this, I was pruning it and removing all the dead leaves, and since then I took care of it and I was watering it and whatnot. However, the winter has not served it well, and there's been a lot of loss of life. As you can see, there's a lot of brown, which I will deal with. I will be removing all of these dead pieces in the coming probably week, and we'll just see what we do. Pretty much all I want to say about this is that when people tell you there's a specific time of year that you should plant a particular plant, listen to them. I am pretty sure that I planted these in September, maybe October. So it is a chance because it's only gotten colder since they sprouted. And I'm learning more and more this winter that temperature is just a big factor in how plants grow. And this is the evidence of them not being in a temperature that is best suited for them. So lesson learned on that front. Also, what I wanted to say is that, if I haven't said it already, this winter in the UK is one of the coldest for a while, and it's the coldest winter that I think I've experienced whilst looking after plants. And in the previous winter, last winter, I had way fewer plants. So I think that's why there's just so much sadness in the collection at the moment. But we move. This is not the end. I'm a fighter. There's many more upswings to come. Okay. Number 3. Before I show you this, I would just like to quote from great rapper, lyricist, icon really, the London rapper little Simz, when she said, "Have you ever seen a dead body?" I can explain. And the thing is, you don't even know how dead this is because you don't know how alive it used to be, because I don't think I ever showed it on the channel. I will put a video here or a picture or something so you can see how vibrant, luscious, verdant. This was about to be one of my new faves, and I killed it before it got to that point. So this, if you don't know, if you don't know, this is or was a Peperomia nivalis, and it was sold in one pot. Like this was in this pot as well, and I bought it whilst I was visiting a friend. If you're watching, I'm so sorry, this is how you found out that it died. It was one of those ones where I looked at it and I was like, nah, I shouldn't get it. Oh, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. And then I just bought it because impulse. And look, another one that I didn't really know how to care for that well. And this is why I say not only buy plants you know how to take care of, but it takes not that much effort, but also the results are really worth it if you look up the care needs for a plant before you buy it and see whether you can take care of it. In this case, however, I would like to say that I did everything right. You know, I had the right lighting, the right water, and I also had, I think, the right emergency response to the signs of distress. When it started dropping leaves and started going brown, I looked up what to do. I changed my watering habits. I relocated them. Then finally, I was like, maybe it's root rot, so I completely unpotted it. I separated even the 2 plants into 2 different pots, and I put one in terracotta and left one in a plastic nursery pot. Maybe that would help. And I put them in 2 different rooms. so that I could see maybe one would respond better and then I'd learn better for next time. There won't be a next time, mark my words. I like the plant, it's cute when it's all doing what it needs to do, especially because it's kind of succulent leaves, which I'm a fan of, but it also had a bit more of, I would say, I don't know, it had a bit more going on than the average succulent in my opinion. I'm not a super succulent fan. I need my plants to have, I think, structure and more, things going on to make it look visually interesting. And a lot of succulents are quite compact and they don't grow very quickly. But this one, I was thinking, you know, it's gonna be different. It's not like all the others. It's not for me, love. It's so dead. This one has 2 leaves in it. This leaf is dead, it's just in the pot. But this one I think is still attached, so I'm not even gonna touch it. Until I see that leaf is dead, I'm not throwing in a towel. However, I haven't watered this one in like 2 weeks because what's going on here? Nothing. You can even see the stem is starting to shrivel up. So I don't know that there's much saving this plant. It's really starting to, what do you call it, shrivel. So I think this one is a goner. This one is still green and the main stem is still hard, so I'm not giving up on it. I think I did water this one, yeah, I can tell from the soil. I did water this last week, but I'm not hopeful. If anyone has ever revived this plant, let me know, and let me know what I should do to help it along the way. But as far as I'm concerned, this one is in urgent care and it's on IV, and we'll see if we make it. This one, very much do not resuscitate, it's gone, but hopefully it can live on in its separated twin. Okay, final plant is my Typhobacchia, and this one's actually doing fine. I literally just wanted to show you because it has started to go yellow in certain areas, and I believe this is just because it wasn't watered enough whilst I was away, or it wasn't watered at all whilst I was away. So you can see, if you look up in here, there's lots of yellow leaves, so I'll just remove those yellow ones. And also I'm going to remove, there were some brown leaves that were even there before I left it like 2 weeks ago, which I'd left in the pot, which I didn't mind because, I don't know, I feel like part of the look of a Typhobacchia is this sort of, if you look here, yeah, the brown, there we go, the brown like ridges that show how many leaves have died and died prior to the one that's at the top. And I feel like that's kind of part of the look. It makes it look a bit kind of like bamboo, but I can see this one is starting to mold. No, we don't, there's no room for mold in my life, so I'm getting rid of that. Let me put that out of the frame. Okay, that's really it. I didn't have anything else to say. This is an impromptu video. I literally just wanted to show you the plants that I have and how they're doing. I don't know if I've ever actually, I know I haven't done a plant tour or any video that shows my full collection. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and then maybe I will film that. But apart from that, I think I've said what I wanted to say. I need to go blow my nose now because it's cold and I had to turn off the heater to film this, so the fan is very loud. And my hands are currently going numb. I hope your winter is going better than mine. Me and the winter, we're not besties. We just kind of tolerate each other. And this winter has really, it's not, como se dice, aligning with my spirit. So like I said, I hope it's going better for you than it is for me. And if you have any tips on anything I've just shown you, on any of the plants I've just shown you, please let me know, because as we can see that I clearly don't know what I'm doing. And I think that's all I had to say. Oh, music. Yes, it's been a while since I actually mentioned music on the channel, and I don't know why that is. I just forgot. So I think I will just actually talk about the song that I just mentioned earlier, which I think is called Dead Body by Little Simz. If I'm wrong, I will correct myself here. I can't remember right now which album that's from, but I'm going to just use this as a chance to talk about Little Simz because I like to talk about her. I think it's from A Curious Tale of Dreams and Nightmares. No, that's Nick Mill. A Curious Tale. It's here. I think it's the one where the artwork is like a white background with black sketched figures on it. Yes, so Little Simz, she actually has just released another album like a month or two ago. I want to talk about her because her work rate is so elite. Not in an aggressive way. There are some artists that I actually, when they release, I'm like, please go away. I didn't have a chance to even forget that you were around because you are always around and always releasing music. Little Simz, I find she releases music just before I'm ready to miss it, like just before I'm needing new music. So there's always new music, but I'm not feeling overwhelmed like, oh, another one to listen to, another one to listen to. Her flow is so unique. As soon as I hear her on a verse, on a song, I know it's her. Sometimes you can even tell from the instrumental it's gonna be her on it. For example, her song with Salt, like a couple of years ago, before Salt were really publicly acknowledging who they were, I could tell it was her, and I could tell that she'd fit on that kind of beat even before I heard her voice. So aside from, I guess, that, her flow and stuff, I think that she's a very interesting artist in terms of where she positions herself within the rap sphere. It's a whole discussion, I'm not going to get into it too much right now, but UK rap is a very interesting realm because there are kind of genres that are associated with rap, but they aren't necessarily just rap, but there are also artists that do kind of pure rap and don't do any of the offshoots, if that makes any sense. So, for example, you could have grime, you could have drill, on which people are rapping on those tracks, but they aren't really seen as UK rap, or maybe if they are, they'd be kind of a subcategory. But then there are artists like Little Simz and maybe like Lil Kana who are objectively just UK rap, full stop, and trying to label them under grime or drill doesn't actually make sense because that's not what they're doing. And what I like about the two of them as artists is you can hear the influences in their instrumental choices in particular from so many genres, particularly genres from previous decades. Lil Kana is so clearly inspired by like 80s and 90s US rappers. I don't know if he's actually worked with any, but I'll try and remember if I can, I'll put them on the screen. And Little Simz, I think some of that, but also I feel like she's quite inspired by R&B singers from that era as well. Singers, I guess, slash rappers, because I'm thinking of people like Lauryn Hill. I wonder who, like, as I'm saying this now, I really wish I could look at her Wikipedia page and look under the influences section, because I'd love to know who she would cite her influences as, because that's just who comes to mind for me. But I'm going to stop rambling about Little Simz because the video should have come to an end by now. I'm going to try and make this a quick one. So without much more left to say, goodbye until the next one, hopefully coming out sooner than you think.